Welcome back to CGC Podcast Discussion Series. I'm making this video today because Microsoft came out and announced a couple of things via, I believe it's an Xbox official podcast. Matt Booty went on the podcast and discussed the release of Fable and how honest they intend to be front facing about what that big showcase on June 7th is going to have in it. He basically said that, there will be no Helix or business talk. We're going to be focusing on the games in the studios. We're going to show every machine that we intend to put our games on during the showcase. And he also revealed that Fable will be delayed until February 2027. All news that I personally have no problem with. But of course, as always, people who have bothered to get themselves too high up on what they believed was going to happen are now all of a sudden down and upset. And it's crazy to me because for all of the positive things Microsoft has done, its fan base, which is a little exhausting at this point, has decided that they want to be negative and upset that essentially Microsoft has decided to openly but not necessarily directly say we're still going to publish our games on other platforms, at least for the time being. I told you guys business wise it didn't make sense for them to not be multi-platform. They're in fourth place. I don't know where the delusion was coming in that was going to change. And I really just want to have a talk in hopes that it reaches the right ears as far as being realistic about your expectations when it comes to these companies. First and foremost, welcome if it's your first time here. I talk about video games from an analytical point. Sometimes I cuss a lot. I mean, shit happens. There I go. And man, I try to be as objective as I possibly can while also being honest. If I'm playing Xbox for the most part right now, I'm going to tell you that. However, if you ever look at my footage from some of my old videos, I have PlayStation VR, PlayStation VR 2, Xbox One, Xbox Series. I have footage from like all platforms except for Nintendo because I don't want to get my channel shut down. Nintendo's kind of shitty when it comes to content from their games. At any rate, now the big hubbub is, I even saw Colt Eastwood, and all due respect to Colt Eastwood, but I saw Colt Eastwood post something around the terms of, you guys are cowards. You guys aren't pulling your games from PlayStation. And honestly, I think this is fake outrage. Never forget that Colt Eastwood, King David, a lot of those Xbox guys, all due respect, have constant conversations, or I wouldn't say constant, but at the very least, they are within arm's reach for, I would say, at least a few times out of the year of Xbox executives, and they talk to these guys. They interview them, they meet them at conventions because the Xbox guys, especially for the last 13 or so years, have been very hands-on when it comes to dealing with the community. They've had conversations with the Phil Spencers, the Matt Booties, Stein. At least that's his X handle. I'm not sure what his real name is. Even the gentleman whose name escapes me at the moment, who's the architect for the Xbox Series and the Helix, which isn't released yet. They've had conversations with these guys. Very personal conversations. Jason Ronald, that's his name. They've had conversations with these guys. They've interviewed these guys. They've been told beforehand, if not recently, what's really going to happen. And the outrage about, there's no exclusive games yet, or, that it's bullshit. It's performative, right? It's like a 6-hour filibuster, or 24-hour filibuster, whatever that shit was. Anyway, I say all that to say this. I told you guys that shit was never gonna happen. Or at the very least, I can say I told you it has no business happening. I gave you my reasons, but I will reiterate. Game studios are shutting down at alarming rates. Not because they've got several bad games in a row, but because they have one bad game. One bad game now will kill you because one game costs hundreds of $millions to make. Not because they have to, but because, these companies aren't managing the money properly when it comes to this stuff. The one company that is doing that is the company that's in fourth place. And that's Microsoft. How are they managing it properly? They're putting these games in as many places as they possibly can, day one. They're putting them in a service where they are siphoning $22 a month out of everybody who subscribes to it. And even if you don't play on the console, you can be subscribed to the service and play through a TV that happens to let you stream the game. I know because I have 2 of them that are built to do that. You can play it through a tablet that has the app on it, or a web browser. Like, you can play it through a phone that has the app on it or a web browser. There's so many ways you can access Xbox games that to be upset that the PlayStation is one of them when they don't get to stream the games. They have to buy them full stock or they have to buy them, full stock at $70. Why be upset at that? And it's like things that have been told to the Xbox fan base before, it goes over their head. Phil Spencer told you guys, and I know a lot of people are now that Asha Sharma's coming in with her energy and stuff like that. They want to bag on Phil Spencer. Oh yeah, he was, and even I've said, he was a little bit too nice. But I understand why he did it. Right? I understand why he did it that way. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I understand why he did it. You can bag on Phil Spencer all you want, but he was honest. He was as honest as he was allowed to be. He told you we lost the worst generation to lose. You can't put out a $500 console against a $400 console that essentially runs, and with an asterisk, runs better the exact same games that you're getting and expect to win. And when you let that sit out there for about a year and you do nothing, yeah, you're going to bury yourself. And Microsoft's been buried under that mistake ever since. It wasn't TV. Most of the people who bought these consoles for Call of Duty, Madden, NBA 2K, they didn't care about TV. Because those games were there. They weren't going to use it for that anyway, right? What they cared about was this one's $400 and that one's $500. That was it. Like in the form of the nerd, the hardcore video game nerd who actually watched those presentations, because most people didn't. Most people just wandered into a store, were watching TV one day. Oh, there's a new Xbox. Oh, there's a new PlayStation. That's how they found out. This is the new Madden on PlayStation. This is the new NBA 2K on PlayStation. This is the new Call of Duty on PlayStation. That's how they found out. All of that other shit, the E3 presentations, that shit is for an exclusive group of nerds. Like these presentations, sometimes it's like people in this community act like those presentations are getting like FIFA finals numbers on YouTube, like 5 billion people. No, these videos are averaging 100-some thousand views. They're only stacking up to like 1 million views months, if not years later. So not that many people are informed about this stuff. Not that many people are watching this stuff. Yeah, people are talking about it on social media. But unless it's a part of your algorithm, they're very rarely the top trending thing. And again, if they are a part of your algorithm, they're going to be the top trending thing because your algorithm knows that that's what you like. So they're going to talk about it. But if you think that that is actually the biggest deal going on in the world at any given time, on any given day, you're fucking crazy. There are literally wars being fought over religion and oil still. Video games ain't shit in the overall scheme of things, if you catch my drift. And I think the illusion that a lot of us in this community have allowed to be pulled over our eyes is that, so many people care about what we care about, and it's not true. I responded to one of Cole Eastwood's posts respectfully that, if I'm an Xbox guy and PlayStation dudes get to play my games, it's not going to make me buy a fucking PlayStation. It's just not. First of all, PlayStation doesn't have Play Anywhere. Take for instance, the recently released and highly rated 007 First Light runs best on PS5 Pro, right? That is, as far as consoles are concerned, it runs best on PS5 Pro. This has been proven. Like ray tracing, all that stuff runs better on PS5 Pro on average. So the best console I can play it on is $900, no disc. And then you better have an OLED, not a QLED, an OLED TV to run it on to get the absolute maximum performance out of it. That's another, $800-900? So to get the best running version of this particular game, you need about $1,800 plus the $70 for the game itself. Or you can get it on Xbox with a Series S, which at total will cost you about $520 with the game plus the console, because the console's like $450 right now. Game $70. And then later on, you can get a computer and run that same purchase on a decent to really good computer and get all of those performance ticks anyway. And that is what these Xbox dudes are failing to see. The ecosystem is the exclusive. PlayStation's not getting games that they can run on PC when they purchase the PlayStation version of the game. You either buy the game on PlayStation or you buy the game on PC. That's it. You're not getting those things. You're not getting streaming unless you either want to try and stream on your phone, which isn't very good, or you want to try and buy a $300 handheld that only streams. And I think it runs old games now after an update. But that's it. You're spending way more money on average to get the quote-unquote best they can offer you on PlayStation. Meanwhile, on Xbox, you literally can play all of this new shit for $450. And if you wait till holiday, I have a feeling that thing will be as cheap as $300 in some places. And I'm talking about the Series S, which is actually the best value in gaming, along with Game Pass. But no. Let's not concentrate on that. Let's worry about PlayStation dudes being able to play PlayStation games. And the PlayStation's not giving us those games. If you wanted those games, you'd own a PlayStation. Let's just be serious. Clearly, even PlayStation guys don't give a fuck about Soros because it's not selling. There's 90 million PlayStations in a while, and Soros sold 300-something thousand copies to 500-something thousand copies. 500,000 copies at best sold. 98 million consoles in the fucking wild. That's not a good ratio. I don't know how many of you guys are strong at math, but that is terrible math. That's absolutely abhorrent math. But you're worried about not getting that game. The main reason, as an Xbox guy, I wouldn't give a damn about not getting PlayStation games is PlayStation ain't got shit going on right now. They don't. I'm not asking Microsoft, who owns so much stuff, to be like a company who owns so much stuff and yet is producing so little. PlayStation is home to all of these stellar franchises. Their biggest and quote-unquote best studio hasn't produced a game in 6 years. Naughty Dog hasn't put out anything new in 6 years. They put out an okay TV show. Wasn't even as good as people lauded it to be. Because at the end of the day, how much can I give a shit about something that I already played just being done? It's like, okay, so you basically took all the cinema screens and put them on TV for me to watch with good actors. That's what a TV show that tells the same story I've already seen. That's essentially what it's doing. It's the game I already played with extended cut scenes that I didn't get to see when they had to embellish on stuff to make the episodes more interesting. That's it. And I'm not trying to downplay The Last of Us, a TV show. It was a good TV show. But it's like, for fuck's sake, Fallout actually has an original story. You played that game. You played that story already. Like, what really killed me was when motherfuckers was like, I can't believe they killed Joel. Yeah. Remember? The first hour of the second game, they literally did that shit the exact same way. What are you surprised about? It was a few people who really own that shit. I'm like, either you didn't play the game or you a fucking goofball. Because, I mean, what are we fucking talking about? Look, I don't understand the logic of guys who know that Microsoft is in fourth place, not third place. They're behind Nintendo, PlayStation, and what is that damn thing called? What is it called? The Next Playground? I think I called it the Nexigo the last time. That is not the actual name of it. It is called the... Let's see. Hold on here. Just bear with me. NEX. Yeah, it's called the Next Playground. The little cube that's essentially the thing that they ruined their reputation with. The Kinect. Trying to force people to pay an extra $100 for it 13 years ago. The Kinect is once again biting them in their ass. And that thing outsold the Xbox this past holiday. It's $300. And it's all motion control games. The thing they tried to shoehorn to you 13 years ago and force you to buy, that ruined them essentially. And they have to build all of this. This is why games, like that move, and this is what people don't understand. Game Pass only exists because they fucked up. All of these games on all these different platforms because the industry is fucked up. Not because they fucked up. This has nothing to do with them fucking up. The industry's fucked up. The industry is bleeding cash and it's fickle. Don't forget, Google came out with a piece of software that created 30-second vertical slices of concepts based on prompts. And it cost this industry $4 billion. This is the industry that is so fickle. This is the industry I'm talking about. When Google, who failed fantastically with Google Stadia, when really the service, if you actually had it like I did, actually ran really well, was actually a brilliant piece of service. It's just how it was marketed, how it was distributed, and how it worked was fucking stupid. You can't tell people they have to pay a subscription to play games they bought from you. What does that mean? Right? That's a whole nother failure of a discussion altogether, right? But Google, the company one of these companies that has failed spectacularly in entering this space, put a piece of software out there, and it destroyed the game industry to the tune of $4 billion for one day. That's how fickle the game industry is. So when I say stuff like Microsoft really shouldn't do that exclusive shit because they're going to end up closing studios down. They're going to end up firing more people again. That's what I mean. If Google had brought that out and they didn't make so much as a peep, I would have a different conversation with you. But when I saw that all Google did was put out something that made a vertical slice that runs at sub 20 frames per second for 30 seconds, and that hurt this industry to the tune of $4 billion, and you're telling the company that's in fourth place, pull your games from all these platforms, even if you're only making like a couple of $100,000 off of a couple of hundred, not even a couple of $100,000, you're selling only a couple of 100,000 copies. Let's be clear, a couple of 100,000 copies is like $1 million because you selling these games at $70 a pop, $40 a pop even. If you sell 100,000 copies of a game at $70, let's do the math. Because I you know what I'm saying, I got a comp sci degree. Sometimes my math ain't that great. 70 times 100,000 is $7 million. 30% of that you got to give to PlayStation, right? So 7 million. And this is really broad math, right? We're not even including the tax and everything else. 70 million times 0.30%. So you got to get PlayStation 2.1 million, and you get to keep the other 5 for selling the 100,000 copies of the game. People will point to those numbers and say, "Oh yeah, well they only made like $5 million off of it." You know how many people got paychecks because of that $5 million fucking dollars? You know how many people who got paid that probably wouldn't have got paid at Studio X? Just pull one out your ass because that fucking copy of those copies of the games existed, and they were able to sell even those many of them. And you're willing to risk that. You're willing to risk some poor schmuck's job at one of those studios because you want to argue with a fucking PlayStation fanboy online about, oh, they don't get to play this game. Any PlayStation dude, and I'm going to say this again, I've said it several times, any PlayStation dude that is bragging about being able to play Forza Horizon 6 at you is a fucking idiot because he has to pay for that game. You guys really don't understand the blessing that Game Pass is. You can buy the game, absolutely. But I believe if you try to buy, and I will cut my Xbox on, but I don't need any extra noise. You can buy a game on the Xbox, but I think even then you get like an automatic 10% discount. And if you're not using the discount, if you're in the Xbox ecosystem, you're getting rewards for just cutting your Xbox on and playing a game for 15 minutes. If you do that shit 5 days out of the week, if you've been on Forza Horizon every day this week, you get like 500 something points on Sunday night. 1,000 points is like damn near $1. Microsoft is losing so bad at this gaming shit, but doing so well simultaneously that they can afford to make all of these games and then basically give you money to play their games. You know who doesn't have a fucking rewards program right now because they're bleeding money? Nintendo and Sony. Nintendo got rid of their rewards program. Used to be able to register your game cards and get money from Nintendo. Sony just got rid of their rewards program. But y'all want them to be like them motherfuckers? Some of y'all was even saying goofy shit like, get rid of Game Pass. Get rid of Day One games and Game Pass. The only purpose of people having Game Pass, a lot of people, is that they get to play those games for that flat rate. That's $4 billion that Microsoft brings in every year. You want them to get rid of that just so you can argue with motherfuckers online about what games they can't play. You know, there was a running gag amongst the people that laugh at you, mostly the PC dudes, that the PlayStation guys, even though all of the fanboys are weird, the PlayStation guys were the dumbest ones. You motherfuckers argue with them so much that your brain cells are quickly depleting and you're becoming just as stupid as they are. The fact that some of you even fixed your mouths to say that shit. You know how many people are probably only own the Xbox for Game Pass? You want to talk about no reason to buy an Xbox? Get rid of Game Pass. Get rid of Day One games and Game Pass. Like, seriously, you think that indie studios and third-party studios like Capcom, who every once in a while when they want to drop an experimental game, they put it in Game Pass Day One? You think they're going to let Microsoft do that to their shit when they're not even willing to do it with their own stuff? Now, Sony, they'll let get away with it, but Sony sold 98 million units. You're in 4th place. You can't outsell a fucking motion control cube that goes under the TV for kids to play Fruit Ninja with. But you want Microsoft to pull that. Microsoft losing, but being successful at the same time, which is the thing because they're only losing in the eyes of people who keep counting something that don't matter, which is console sales. Because console sales don't equal software sales. You don't make money off the fucking console, guys. You make money off the software. Microsoft being in 4th place and trying to move up constantly tells me, one, they ain't losing so bad they quitting because they ain't going away. 2, they got to play nice, which is why you still have a rewards program, which is why you have a Game Pass. Which is why even though they took Call of Duty away, oh, well, if you got to save from an old Call of Duty, we'll discount you 10%. And they did that for everybody. What the fuck are you guys talking about? The last company you want on top and being greedy and selfish as fuck is Microsoft. Like I said, Next generation, if they want to start yanking shit back and saying, no, you can't play this unless you buy Xbox, that makes sense. But right now, the industry is fucking cooked. It's cooked. We're in a nice little spot right now where a few games are selling millions upon millions of copies in only a few days. We had, in the last week or two, 3 games come out that's averaging like 80, high 80s and above. 007, Forza Horizon, and Mina the Hollower, right? That's great. You can play all those games on Xbox. You can play 2 of those games on PlayStation and on Switch. And on PC, you have access to all 3 too. You guys really don't understand how well Xbox is the best ecosystem. It's not about not being able to play games on there. It's about how much they give you as a console. Play anywhere. I would never buy the PlayStation 5 Pro version of fucking 007 First Light, and I have a PS5 Pro. Why the fuck would I do that when I got a nice PC and I get the Xbox version and the PC version when I give Microsoft my $70? Excuse me, $50 because I got about $20 worth of rewards points. That's the difference. That's the fucking exclusive. The reward points. Play anywhere. Stream it. You can't do that on PlayStation. You can't. People who buy PlayStations right now are like people who buy Apple phones. You're literally paying for the logo and nothing else. It ain't doing shit that the other machines ain't doing better. It ain't. It's really not. Oh, they're not giving us Wolverine. Who fucking cares? The chances that Wolverine game is going to be some kind of world beater, let's just be serious, are very slim. It'll get decent ratings. Maybe even really good ratings because IGN and all the other fucking companies that's got Sony's cock down their throat is going to give it good ratings based on that alone. Oh, Wolverine could be game of the year. We all know it's fucking not. Grand Theft Auto is. Forza Horizon probably is. Mina the Hollower probably is. First Light probably is. That game won't deserve to be there, but Keeley, because it's his show and he's a PlayStation dick rider, he'll put it there. Stop falling for the banana in the fucking tailpipe, guys. Stop it. Like, what you're talking about doesn't make sense. You don't need exclusive games. You need Microsoft to play as nice with you and your wallet as they possibly can. Keep them humble. Because the last time they weren't humble, they tried to make you buy a fucking $100 camera to play the same games the PlayStation had for $100 more than the PlayStation came in with worse performance. That's Microsoft when they feel like they're on top. That's Microsoft when they feel like they're untouchable. Fuck the exclusive games. They start trying to gouge you. That's what all these companies do. Why the fuck do you want to be like PlayStation? They can't even keep a studio open. You want Microsoft to be like the company that fumbled Destiny. And let's be clear about something. I'm almost out of time, at least based on my time, but I might go over a little bit. PlayStation has said in their little chats, right? Their what do they call them? The town halls. Oh yeah, we're not putting our single player games on PC anymore. Really? So you're not putting your games on PC anymore, not your single player games, right? Just the multiplayer. So the Marvel Tokens, the shitty ass Thieves game, whatever it's called, and whatever else, right? So I had to ask myself, why is Nixxes still there? And why hasn't there been an official announcement? Like, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I missed something. Has there been an official PlayStation blog where they've said we're no longer doing that? Or is this just something that happened at an alleged town hall? And I believe King David, shout out to him, alluded to that. It was said at a town hall that nobody saw but a few people, right? And then Jason Schreier, of course, to big himself up, he goes and regurgitates that information again. Interesting. I have not heard shit from an official PlayStation person about fucking them no longer making single player narrative games on PC. If I'm looking at this this release window here of all the Nix's games, everything with the exception of Helldivers 2, which they actually ported to the Xbox Series X and S, and partially on Windows, along with... No, that's it. That's the only multiplayer game they've ever ported. Why the fuck is Nixxes still there? Their expertise is porting PC games. Why are they still there? Because I forget the Guilty Gear company's name. They're porting Marvel Tokon themselves, right? And then the company who's making Phantom Blade, they're porting their game themselves. What else? Oh, Nixxes ported Death Stranding 2 on Windows. But Hermen Hulst came out at a town hall that was not officially announced or shown to anybody in the gaming community that they're no longer doing single-player narrative-based games on PC. Okay, fine. I'll take your word for it. And I'm being fucking sarcastic. There's no reason... You know how much money you could probably get for Nixxes, as talented as they are, if you just got rid of them, if you no longer have a use for them, but they're still there. I give that shit a year tops. Soros ain't moving. And we talking about, oh yeah, they're not going to put that game on PC. Okay. Let me tell you, son, you want fucking PlayStation. You want Xbox to be like PlayStation so bad. PlayStation is in denial about the inevitable. Those motherfuckers are realizing that if we going to put games on PC, we need to do it day and date. And I wouldn't put it past them still making their own launcher so they can make 100% of the money off of it. But if you think they're going to let that money just sit there on the table after fucking Yoshida came out and said, yeah, you could just print money when you make the PC version of the game. If you think these motherfuckers really going to abandon PC full stock as far as single player narrative games, you stupid as fuck. They're not doing that. They finding a different way to do it. They're not doing it. Because if they were doing it, you could sell Nixxes and probably recoup at least some of the money you spend on Bungie. Nixxes is still a PlayStation studio. Why? Why the fuck are they there? You don't need them, right? Why are they there? As far as what I'm looking at, the only thing they help build is Soros, and that shit's a failure. So Nixxes should either be gone or sold, right? Why are they still there? We're not porting single player games to PCs, so they say in a town hall meeting. Fuck out of here, man. Stop wanting... Microsoft ain't like PlayStation. PlayStation is in this delusional period of we're in first place or second place, wherever the fuck they are, as far as console sales. They can't sell a fucking game. Meanwhile, Microsoft has an embarrassment of riches. Or Xbox has an embarrassment of riches. And y'all worried about other motherfuckers being able to play them. That's goofy. That's crazy talk to me. It don't matter no more, man. Not right now, it don't matter. Maybe next gen you can roll back all that shit. Like I said, come up with a better plan, roll back all that shit. But even then, why? Your next console's a fucking PC. Why? It's a PC and a fucking console. There's no point. Microsoft has found a much better way to handle its business, and y'all not willing to accept it. Go get therapy or quit gaming. Period. Point blank. You don't need to argue with these goofy ass PlayStation dudes. A PlayStation dude that's arguing with you about the fact that they get to buy a game at $70 that you have more than enough avenues to play anywhere you want to or get it at a severely reduced price is a fucking idiot. Because he's bragging about having to spend more money than you will to have fun. And in a time where gas is $6 a gallon, bragging about having to spend more money is like bragging about your fucking boss banging your wife. What the fuck is wrong with you? Are you fucking... Yeah. And you didn't get no promotion for the shit. Nothing. You just a cup. You're fucking stupid. Don't argue with these guys. They're morons. Hey, man, wait, let me get out of here before I say something real messed up, as if I haven't already. I'll catch you guys in the next video, man. Some of you motherfuckers, please seek help, and the rest of you just enjoy your games, man. This shit is wild. And I knew this was going to happen. Catch you later.